Hello, my fellow baseball fans, and welcome to the Jays Within podcast. I'm Marin, but you can call me Em. I'm excited to talk Blue Jays baseball with you. A little fun fact about me is I went to my first baseball game when I was just 8 months old. Pretty crazy, right? So I guess you could say I'm a lifelong fan. I decided to start this podcast to be able to talk Blue Jays and baseball with fans all over the world, make new friends, and bring a smile to people in my own way. I'm Marin. And let's jump into our first topic today, my opinion on the World Series ending. So, it's currently December when I'm finally doing this, and I don't know, looking back, it didn't end the way we want it to end at all. I don't care. That's very controversial, and I know, but to me, I was happy, I was really happy with the fact he made the World Series, but in February, March, I was at opening day. I watched us get blown apart by Baltimore. After that game, I was going to be happy if we even made the wild card. I had expectations, but I really didn't. To me, okay, if the team misses the playoffs, whatever, we're not projected to do much. There's I don't want to say not a lot here, but nothing really changed from last season. So what, other than I know Scherzer, a couple of the other guys, there was those changes. Santander hadn't been performing, so it's kind of So, to me, the fact when that tear in July started and never really, it ended at some points, but they always came back fighting. To me, just thinking about that, the fact we were the American League champions and nothing can take that away, and the fact we took the Dodgers to extra, I know Game 7 extra was not intentional, but, the fact we took the Dodgers to Game 7 and fought as hard as we did, to me, I was happy with that. I cried the night we lost, I will not deny that, but to me, the overall fact of the day was yeah, it hurt, but now that I've had time to process, sit there, reflect, I'm happy I even got to watch that. I paid a fortune and went to Game 1 and I was at Game 6. The history, the atmosphere, I've been going to games, as I said, since I was 8 months old. I've gone to, I think, a game pretty much every year other than the year they played in Buffalo. I have never seen it like that. So to me, the overall experience of that, the Barger Grand Slam in Game 1, all these moments of the World Series made it worth it. And I know we ended in heartbreak. It was heartbreaking. And many people say, oh, Toronto teams. But I don't think we're like the other teams. I have followed baseball. I've followed the other teams that have won the last couple of years, other than I don't really like to follow the Dodgers when they play. Usually root against them. I don't think I've ever seen that in sports in recent years. Even I watch hockey. I'm an Ottawa Senators fan. I'm not a Leaf fan. You don't see that. You don't hear about that. So to me, the overall aspect, and you could see the support in the team, even though they're we lost. I honestly think had we won the World Series, next season would not have mattered. When really now, they lost. I watch every interview, all that stuff. Those guys are ready to come out and kick some butt. But they're ready, they're excited, and I'm excited for it. Disappointed they lost, but at the same time, I am so excited for next year. I'm counting down the days. I think the day I filmed this, we're 96 days away from opening day. Couldn't be happier. I'm so ready. World Series sucked. Wasn't some great plays, especially in Game 7. There could make the argument as some guys didn't show up, others did. Clement, MVP of the World Series. We playoffs. Fucking love Clement. Pardon the language. Vladdy was incredible. Springer, everyone worked together as a team, and it was incredible to see. I'm happy I got to be there and witness it, and I'm excited to see what they do next year. I could not be happier with. Didn't like the result, but I loved the way they played. The second topic I really wanted to kind of talk about was my feelings and what it was like watching that team turn it around in July, and kind of getting to be one of the fans who watched it happen. So June, they started picking up. So I was at the series in Fenway like that last week of June into July. Like, I think it was the 28th, 29th, 30th, like that weekend. So I was at the Friday and Sunday game, the 2 games they won. I don't know what it was, but those games, like, Fenway's an incredible ballpark, by the way. Like, incredible. I could talk for hours about Fenway, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Like, that team, I think that's when you kind of started to notice something was different, was in, like, that series. Like, the series going to the New York one, that's kind of when even I started to feel something was different, even though my favorite player has been injured all year. I feel like that's when you kind of started to pick up on the aspects. It's actually also, side note, real quick, I've actually met Springer's parents. Nicest people in the world, I'll tell you that much. I got a picture with them. Like, we talked, my mom went up because I'm a huge chicken. Talked to them for like almost 30 minutes. Just nicest people in the world. Anyways, back to our discussion. Like, I feel like that's when it started to change. So I flew home on I think it was the 29th. I flew home the day before July 1st, like the day before Canada Day. And that's when, like, the Yankee series kicked off. And I'm like, it was a hell of a game. Like, incredible way. So that's, like, when they'd won 2 straight. I missed Canada Day, because I had work. But, like, I remember, because I was at work, and I get, the scoring notifications on my phone. I remember, standing there, and my phone, started going off, blowing up like crazy. And I'm, and I look, and I looked, I went on my phone, and I was like, oh my god, and, was watching the highlights. I'm like, that's, it was a, incredible, grand slam. I was like, oh my god. It was insane. And I was, at work, and, the reaction from the crowd was everything. Well, funny enough, the Canada Day before, the day I flew home, my friend was at that game, and she's like, we kind of talked that night. She's like, I kind of want to go to another. I'm like, listen, if you're looking for someone to go to the Yankees series with, hit me up. I'm down. So literally, I worked the next 2 days getting back from after my trip. Went back into work, worked 14 hours over 2 days. The Wednesday, got off work, went home, changed, went to another baseball game. That was the really highest scoring one when the Yankees almost came back. That's when I felt the change. I went to another, that's when that team clicked. That game was incredible. That's when I kind of felt like there was something different. This wasn't the teams we saw in 22, 23. It wasn't those wild card teams. Something is here. I went to a couple more games in July. They won all of them. I went to one in August. I think I only went to one losing game in August, and that was the Minnesota one, which Hoffman flew in the ninth. But every time I'm this, it was incredible to watch. There's defense. The way they worked together was everything to me. Just everything. And then going into October, and the battle for the East started. Between us and the Yankees, because it was we won on it by the season series, you really started to realize how much us destroying the Yankees all year round really mattered. And then you got to see us do it in the playoffs, in the division series. It was getting to see all the season's hard work against the Yankees series. You had that Tampa Bay series. We hadn't swept Tampa Bay, I think, since 2018. Don't quote me on that, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's 2018, 2019. So the fact we had to see the team come together in that way to get over the challenges, to succeed where they wanted to go, that was awesome. I loved going to games this season. I went to 10 plus. I would have to look. I went to a lot. Yeah, but like I love this season. By far some of the best baseball games I've been to in a couple years. Like I at every game they won, I had no voice. Like afterwards I had no voice and was like beat, which I hadn't experienced in a while. So I'd say that was pretty cool. The third topic I kind of wanted to discuss was the playoffs, so I'm just going to lead into that. Well, I have like a story basically. So I went to each of the rounds. Like I went to the division, championship, and the World Series. For the division series, I bought resale tickets and took my 84-year-old super fan cousin. She loved it other than people were standing because you couldn't see good chunks of the game. But like, I would take her again in a heartbeat. This year was the first time she'd been to a game since 2018. And I took her to a regular season and a playoff, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I went with her. And then for the championship, I was at Game 6 in Toronto. Let me tell you, when we won that game, that crowd, no matter how loud you think it was on TV, we were louder in person. I can tell you that right now. Like, highlights, so like at that point, I hadn't been to a game with my mom. Little fun fact about me and my mom, we go to a new ballpark every year. This year we went to Fenway, and it's always just the two of us. Well, so for the World Series, we're like, all right, so the championship Game 6, we went together because we were gonna go to Game 1, and then shit happened, and she won, I didn't, which I was pissed with because they won it. Now, did they win or lose then? I don't remember now. So yeah, and then so we went to 2 World Series games together. Highlights, like best games I've ever been to with her, like highlights of my night, the crowd, the energy. I could go on and on like I am right now. But the best story I had that came out of the World Series. So I worked Game 7 of the championship series. I'd work till 10. So when I think the game started at like 8, so I missed like up to, I think I got home in the 5th. Like Monday nights I never leave on time. I like sprinted out of there when we closed. Like closed, I was gone. So I got home, and I'm a live streamer. I do it on TikTok. That's probably where many of you watching this will know me from. And I flipped it on. We were down. We were still down by the time I got home. So my cousin turns to me. So like I had been dyeing my hair purple and it had gone fully blonde just because I wasn't dyeing it back yet. She turns. She's like, Marin, if the Jays advance to the World Series, will you dye your hair blue? I said, fuck it, sure. Well, at this, I think it was the top of the 7th when I said that. Sure enough, Springer, bottom of the 7th, boom, hits a 3-run shot. So, like, kind of making the joke is, what if I find it funny because, like, my mom had been trying to get me to dye it for months blue, but I kept saying, no, I don't want blue hair, I don't want blue hair, I don't want blue hair. Sure enough, they say that. Springer hits it, like, 10 minutes later. I'm like, oh, looks like I'm getting blue hair now. So my cousin came over the next day, literally no joke. I still have it. It's more green now. But we dyed, like, all my blonde blue for them to make the World Series. Best thing I ever did. I had, like, so much fun with it. And, like, people, like, who are close to me, like, didn't know. So they'd be like, so your hair is blue for the Blue Jays, right? I'm like, yes, it is. So, like, I said after, if they go back next year, I'll do it again. Like, I'm gonna kind of keep it going. I don't know, I might dye it earlier in the playoffs, but I don't want to jinx them, you know what I mean? So yeah, like, I could continue talking about, like, the playoffs and the World Series and all, like, my favorite moments with my family, attending the games. I know there's a bunch of us who would watch them secretly. Like, we'd watch them all on our breaks. Like, that's what I would do, like, when I was working during them. So, like, it's just seeing, like, everywhere you went, there was Jays fans. Like, I think I talked to 40-50 Jays fans a shift. Because I was in full Blue Jays gear because I was allowed it for the playoffs. So, like, it was pretty cool. And getting to see all of us come together was something else. It was special, you could say. But, yeah. I do have one thing I do wanna. My next topic is the Jose Barrios situation, which is really controversial. And then we're gonna do the free agents, and then I have some questions from that people want me to answer. So Jose Barrios, as we saw, he chose not to be at the World Series with his teammates because he got pulled from the starting rotation. Personally, I don't like that. I like Barrios when he's pitching well. He hasn't pitched well. He didn't pitch well at all this year. Like, good is what I mean. He didn't pitch good at all this year. And to me, the fact, overall, your job as a pitcher is to perform how your team needs you to perform. You didn't do that. You deciding not to show up for your team at the World Series says a lot about you. Personally, I don't want that player representing our team. I think because of that, Barrios could be on the trade list, and I know a lot of people will be unhappy with that, but to me, if you're willing to not show up for all your other teammates who I would bet money supported you during your rough time this season, and then I think in your injury, why? That's my biggest thing. Why did you choose not to show up when that's one of the biggest things in team sports. You're there for your teammates no matter what happens. To me, if you're really that upset, you should have gone and talked to somebody about it, Hire Schneider, those guys, and still showed up for your team, because in the end, that's what look, Max wasn't in the division series. Was there. Bassett wasn't in the division series. Bassett got moved to the bullpen, and it's all right, I got you guys. That's the energy he should have had in supporting his team. Poor Lo Porfido, off and on the roster, still sat in the dugout. Those guys supported each other. I feel like that's what Barrios should have done, and I think because I asked myself, is he hurt? But that doesn't make sense why he wouldn't show up. I wondered where he was during the World Series. He wasn't on the bench. And even when I read that, I'm you're putting something in here that I don't love. And I'm usually one of those people I don't really care what happening. I'll still support you, but that really puts a thorn in my back, I think is the saying. But I know we don't have a lot of starting pitchers, so can't really change that. Anyways, the two signings, Rogers, oh my god, Cease, and I forgot the third guy's name. I think it's Cody. Those two guys. Oh my god, I am so excited. They're going to do incredible in Toronto. And I read, they're I think it's Cody, the guy who's pitched in a career. When the American League Championship team calls you, you don't say no to that. And the way all three of them have talked about how they wanted to come here because they watched what we did in the playoffs, and they want to play for a team that has that community. They all talked about how their the families of the players always say they're well taken care of. To me, hearing that makes me really feel I definitely follow the right team, and I'm a fan of the right team, and that I've never heard of players actually wanting to come here. We had the Ohtani scandal, all that nonsense, but to hear players actually want to come here and join and fight for a World Series title with us is pretty cool. I must admit, I am crazy excited for them. Just incredible. One of the highlights, I keep saying, and I love it, the arm angle between Trey Savage and I think it's Rogers. Yeah, Rogers. Don't know what from here. Savage finishes up here. Rogers is down here. Could you imagine? You're at a baseball game. Savage pitches 6-7 innings, and you gotta face Rogers. That is gonna get the crowd insane. I am so excited. I simply cannot wait to watch those two go back to back, because it's gonna happen. Or just watch to see we have so many different arm angles just to see how they can combine and mix. That's one of my favorite things I'm excited for next year is the arm angles we have. And, like, I'm excited. Like, I'm so excited for next season. Yeah, so we're going to go with some questions. So these questions are all from what I like to call my TikTok lives, which is what they are. So, I do TikTok. That's where this all got started. I've been a Jays fan and always talked about it. And they're really some of my inspiration of why I started the podcast. And because I've brought it up, and they're like, yeah, go for it. Like, you can reach more of them. So that's where this is kind of coming from. And a couple of them submitted questions for the first episode. So I'm going to read you guys the question on who asked it. And then I'm going to give you, like, my take. So Ryan asked who my favorite player is. So, guys, Dalton Varsho, hands down, he is my favorite player. When he changed his number, I bought a whole new jersey because I'm crazy. He is my favorite player. I was really disappointed when he was injured most of the season, but when he came back and was on that home run tear, oh my God, I was loving every single moment of it. I'm excited to see what he does next year, considering he'll be fully healthy by then. I'm so excited to see him play back out there. I don't know if this... So somebody asked, so Jays fan 4 asked, why do we think the Jays are going full out on pitching? I think they're going full out on pitching is because they noticed they actually are finally acknowledging the holes the bullpen had, especially in the World Series. And I know, like, our AAA guys were incredible. They came up, they did what they needed to do, but there were still holes. That's why I think they're really going full out on pitching, because they want to strengthen the rotation and the bullpen. And, like, to focus, that was one of, like, our kind of issues last year. And they really want to, like, improve that and overall have a stronger fighting chance. Because pitching is one of the key aspects of a game. So 007 asks, if the Jays don't go in on Bichette, do you believe we could make a push for Marte? I do. However, I do think we can do that, but I really don't think we'll see any of that until Bo or Tucker are off the market. Like, if we don't get Bo, they'll probably make a push, but at the same time, we have Clement, Davis, like, we have all these infielders, so I really don't know if they will. Like, they might, but they also might not. It's really hard to tell what they could do. Ryan asked if I think they'll win a World Series next year. No. I will not comment on that. I believe, I'm crazy superstitious, as all sports fans are. I ain't commenting. Because if this turns around to bite me in the butt, no. Jays fan 4 asks, is Shapiro extension a good long-term or bad long-term? So, my opinion on that is, for the time being, I think it's a good move. However, to me, last season, going out at the trade deadline, that was really one of the better years he's had as front-end officers. Like, I want to say, like, it's good, but also at the same time, it might, like, I really don't know. If he keeps going out and making moves that the team needs to continue to win, it's a good thing. But if we go back to, like, 22, 23, when, like, there was, like, not some good moves and we went into, like, the playoffs with holes, then it's bad. But if he keeps doing what he's doing now, I say we're set for a good couple years. Like, I really do think we can hold out for a good couple years. 007, following the Shapiro trend, asked if the question, Shapiro redeems himself because he's cooking, but it does. That's not a question. Oops. He basically was saying, like, his opinion was that just because he had one good year, it doesn't make up for the bad years. Which is kind of what I'm saying. Like, he needs to have another good year or two to really prove he's worth that extension, he's worth keeping around. And I agree with 007 on that take. Jays fan 4 asked my opinion if Barger's a long-term right field star or one season wonder. I don't know. So to me, that kind of depends on, okay, is Santander healthy? What does our infield look like? Like, does Bo stay? Does Bo go? And like, I think he's a demon out there. He made some great plays during the World Series. I think they would have a hard time not keeping him out there. I don't think he's a one-season wonder, but honestly, next season where he plays, I think depends on who's healthy, who's not, what players we have. Like, I think there's a lot of factors that we don't yet know. Somebody, Jays fan 4 with another question, asked, will the Jays core fall apart or will it stay long term, and how can they solidify it? So I don't think it'll fall apart. As I remember, I think it was Gosman said it. It was Clement and someone else. There's a couple said, I can't remember who, said that if it wasn't for them, the gap between players never would have been closed. I think as long as we still have like Clement and these guys who are willing to try and who bring everyone together, the core will not fall apart. We lose some, you don't want to lose that. As long as these couple guys are fighting to keep the core together, get everyone together, work to talk, all that, I think they'll be fine. I honestly think they'll be fine. They could they'll solidify it by me. Oh my god, I can't see my script. However, I think they can solidify it by trying to keep most of the same people they had this year. Pick up a bat or two, or pitching, but try and keep the same guys and keep working at what you had. You guys have issues, figure it out like they did. That's how I think they can keep it together. So 007 asked, do I believe Santander was a wash signing based off his low productivity and his injury? So I'm not going to lie, I did not like Santander at all this year. And I know that's very also controversial because a lot of people did. But you can't judge a guy off one season, especially when he was riddled with injuries. He was gone 99% of it felt like. So to me, I find I really can't comment on if Santander was a wash signing. Personally, I want to see how he does next season. And if he still doesn't perform well, yeah, he probably is. But if he performs great and what he's always seen when he's played for Baltimore, he was a great signing then. I just feel like this year there's not enough data or information to judge off of it, because when he came back from his injury, I don't think he was fully healthy because he had his back. So to me, I want to see him have more playing time before I can really say whether he's a good or bad signing. Jason Ford, do you feel like the Jays are not considering there may be a lockout in 2027? So I don't think they care. I think their whole goal is we need to go back out next season and do something. Not be like some of those teams who went to the World Series and haven't been back, like the Diamondbacks. What happened to them? They went one year, fell off the next. So I honestly think they're not thinking about that. They don't want to think of the possibility. I think their whole thing is, let's sign these guys, let's fill these gaps, let's go out next year and prove we deserve to be the champions in the American League. I don't think they care. And if the Dodgers don't win next year, I don't think there'll be a lockout, but you never know. Oh, so Jays fan 4, he asks a lot of questions, but love it. They asked, do you think the Jays young core is good enough? I do. I really do think, I know they're not even young, but we call them the young core. I really think there's something special there. Trey pitched more in the playoffs than he ever did in the regular season this year. With that experience, and the coaches now have experience, the vets have experience, they are going to help tremendously with each other. They're going to take those little young, the young guys, and they're going to blossom. So it's exciting. Like, I do think they're good enough. Yeah, there's some improvements, but they are going to work on that. And we know they are because we've seen this team take faults and work with those guys, and those guys blossom. I'm excited for it. So the last question of the podcast is from Ryan. Do I think they'll re-sign Bo Bichette? So, I want to start off by saying I have had a couple free agent predictions right, and most have actually been wrong. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. Like, earlier in the offseason, I said yes. I still think so, yes. But the fact reading this past week that he's willing to move to second makes me think he's not getting, like, the money or the contract length he wants. That makes me wonder why no one signed him. Like, I still heavenly believe he wants to come back and play with Vladdy and them, but I don't know. I wish I could give you guys a straight answer. I really don't know about Bichette. I want him back. I know I could say every Jays fan wants Bo back. I know a lot will be, I think it'll blow up the fan base if he leaves in like a joking way, but I do believe we're still one of the top runners in for him. But I also think he's exploring every option. Like, I have no clue. I've looked. You can't find anything. There's no, like, I know there's protections on, like, money and contract length. But even then, like, that can be so wrong. Like, I feel like Bo is such a mystery. Because even I've watched some interviews. People are shocked he's not signed yet. I'm shocked he's not signed yet. So, to me, I don't know. I want Bo back. I like to believe he wants to come. Like, I know he wants to come back. I love believing we are the front runners, and they just haven't worked out the exact contract details, like all those management stuff. But I don't know. Like, I wish I could say yes or no. I believe he's coming back, but at the same time, a lot changes once you start hearing from other teams. So, well, that's all I really had to talk about today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to my first ever podcast episode. I know it's a little rough in some points, and I rambled, but thank you so much, and I hope we can make this a thing, and comment down below if you have any questions you want me to answer, or have any stuff, like just have stuff. Anyways, have a good day, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go Blue Jays.